You know shit about boxing.
And you sparred Mr. Beterbiev.
There we go. Yeah, please. I don't want him to watch this and be like, so you couldn't even like
educate the
host. But yeah, I was out there sparring him, getting him prepared for Joe Smith. So yeah, that was a real good experience and a funny one as well.
Why was it funny? You got to tell us now.
Just the whole experience, man. Like, you know.
How's his English? How's your Russian?
No, I definitely don't speak Russian, but his English isn't bad, you know. It's I think he goes like, I think he goes school like to learn English, or it's either English or what do they speak in Canada?
French or English.
Yeah, so I think he goes to school to like pick up on his French and stuff like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of French speaking in Montreal, isn't it? I believe Quebec.
So, it's decent, man. But yeah, like, you know, on the outside you see him, he's got the stern face, he looks like but he's actually a funny character. Like, he's the type who'll make a joke and he'll just keep his face straight, then start laughing, like, do you know what I mean?
That's like a mafia boss.
There was one time, like, I remember all the sparring partners, we were all like huddled up, like, you know, like plotting like how we're gonna just defeat him, like the boss, like, do you know what I mean? And then, like, you know, I'm like to Bolotnik, Bolotnik, you're in first year, so the first couple of rounds, like, get him to the body. So when I get in, all right, I'm gonna be able to like just move and like, it was proper hilarious. Then he just comes over and goes, oh, you guys are planning against me. Okay. Azeez, you're the boss. You're the
ringleader.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, nah, it's him. And then everyone's trying to pass it. Oh, no, it's it. Oh, it was hilarious. Then, you know, we just go in there, we do our work. And yeah.
Did it work? This group effort?
Do you know what? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, it depends who, like, sometimes, like, you'll get one of the sparring partners who just trying to survive. So they don't even, you know, imagine like a game and then you've got the energy bar, like, so we're trying to get that energy bar all the way. Then you get someone who, all they do, they just run. So his energy bar is all the way up. So the next sparring partner, you've basically got a fresh alpha, do you know what I mean? So that person comes out, and whoever's going in is just like, oh, like, you're just useless, like, and that's what like the vibe of the whole camp is. Like, it's funny, like, it's, you know, even though like it's serious, but you know, we're all like a family and we're all like, you know, here for the purpose of Arthur to make sure he wins, and that means us really going at him, even though we're friendly and whatnot. We're not there on a joke. Like, they want us to really go at him. So.
Josh mentioned there about the big fight coming up next week between Beterbiev and Yarde. God, I hate myself. I hate you, but I hate myself more.
Man. You're doing all right.
Thanks. Huge fight, obviously second opportunity for Yarde.
Yeah.
But it does seem, certainly to me from the outside, like a more difficult opportunity than the first one. Kovalev was at a certain stage of his career. We've seen he's since moved up to cruiserweight. Doesn't look like he's pulling up any trees there.
Yeah.
And Yarde came very close to pulling it off. Beterbiev doesn't look like he's got many flaws in his game, and he seems around his peak as well. What can Yarde do to win the fight?
I think he carries the power. But again, yeah, there's not a lot of flaws in for me in Beterbiev's game. Like, and one thing, forget about even just the flaws and whatnot. Obviously, being around him, he's someone who takes any like opposition, whether he's, you know, the favourite and everyone thinks he's gonna walk through someone, he takes every opposition like very serious, and that's why I think it's gonna be very, very hard. And like you said, when Yarde fought Kovalev, he was in a different stage in his career. Speaking to Arthur, like, personally, I know what he's trying to achieve, what he's, you know, and what he wants to go on and do. And yeah.
What is that? Is that unifying the division or?
Usyk.
Really?
Yeah, he likes.
Because we've heard talks
that.
about it, but he genuinely.
He might not be big enough, but he definitely hits enough to be a cruiserweight. So yeah, but obviously you'd like to have all the belts, like, do you know what I mean? And for him, I know, speaking to like his coaches and stuff like that, Yarde is like that person that could be the stumbling block, like, and he just, there's no, he doesn't want no room for that. So I remember being there and watching him getting ready for Joe Smith, and they're so meticulous in like how they prepare. It's not just we just go in there and you're like wow. And a lot of the things that I saw him practicing in training, he done it to a T within a couple of seconds. I'm like wow, like do you know what I mean? So
what did he say to you about Usyk?
Yeah, he was just a bit pissed off that he lost him twice, and he would love to get his own back.
Still, that must have been so long ago as well.
Yeah. And I think he's like, he said he was a bit pissed off because he was like, in Russia, like in every country there's like politics, like in the boxing and stuff. So he essentially wanted to do like light heavy, but because of the politics, they made him go up a weight. So he didn't really want to be a cruiserweight anyway. And then, every time, I think he told me every time he fought Usyk, he dropped him. But he just could never get the decision. I think he beat him once and then lost twice, or I can't remember. He might have lost all times, but he dropped him every single time. So, yeah.
And with Beterbiev, even when you've sparred him or when you've been outside and other guys have sparred him, like Bolotniks and the others, is there anything you can pick out that particularly troubles him? Any patterns, anything at all that you think that could be a weak point?
You're
not going to say, are you?
I know what to say. But come on, we're all humans. Everyone's got weaknesses. It's just whether you can exploit them, do you know what I mean? No one's perfect, man. Everyone's got some sort of weakness. And it's just about if whoever's you're fighting can exploit it and use it to their advantage.
Beterbiev, Yarde, Georgia? Who would you fancy?
Yeah, what fashion? I'd love to know. Knockout.
I don't think it's
like not what when how long do you think like what
7? I
7.
feel like 7's always like a nice have a little warm up and then you just like
what about you, Danny? Like
yeah, I think Beterbiev, but maybe a bit later.
Yeah,
I think Yarde could have some success early on.
Yeah, I think so as well. I feel like early on he can be successful, and the way he may stand the chances if he capitalises on him being successful, which I really think is going to be hard. Like, I don't think it's an impossible job. Like, he's big enough, like, do you know what I mean? He hits hard enough, and, and also it'd be, I'd like him to win, because imagine we'd have all the belts in England, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, let's see how it goes, man.
All except Bivol belt, of course.
Yeah. But at least we have...
Which you're the main contender for as well.
So
you have to go and get that for England.
I'll try.
It's your responsibility, mate. Sorry.
Just for you.
Yeah, if you could. Bring it back to the podcast.
What about you?
Well, I said, didn't I? Have I got to pick a round?
Yeah. So he always does it. He asks everybody else, and he's like, I'm just going to freeze over.
No, because Dan asked me, and I said Beterbiev, and a bit later, round 9.
Okay, nice.
Sorry, AY. Sorry, Tunde. Don't call me, please. Yo, Danny Flexen here. Think you know shit about boxing? There's only one way to find out. Listen to the full podcast via one of the links in the description, or go to secondsoutboxing.podbean.com.
Do you know shit about boxing?